Hey old soul, just over a year ago I sold everything I owned and moved to the land of Bali with my ex-husband and 3 kids. Now I live my dream life, traveling first class around the world, teaching others how to do the same. If you are ready for a life that is so abundant and free, where money flows like air so effortlessly that you don't even care because you are simply focusing on you and allowing everything to be true, then you are exactly where you need to be. Let me teach you how to be wildly abundant and insanely free. Good afternoon from sunny Bali. This is wild. I literally just had a tarot reader in my house for 3 hours, going deep with all the things, all my wounds, all the craziness of this lifetime. And wow. She was like, and I know I've been dealing with this wound for many lifetimes because this wound is crazy. I've literally done insane past life regressions. Hey Renee, how are you, beautiful soul? Around isolation, around being an ice queen. I remember I had this shaman one time that he hit me, whacked me across the table, and he was like, Eva, wake up. Why did you kill yourself in that lifetime? I was like, oh my goodness, what the fuck is happening? Anyway, I have been trying to call in love for a while, and I've kind of been going back and forth with it, peddling it, falling off it, and just kind of being like, is this what I really want? Is this not what I want? And it brings us to this universal core wound of isolation. It's really this deep wound that a lot of us have, which is that we feel alone. And it's interesting because star seeds, light workers, old souls, we're naturally going to feel alone in a world where we think differently to everyone else. And we have chosen these paths where our soul is naturally going to put us into families and environments where we're not like other people, because there is no use for a light worker in the light. You've got to be in the darkness. So naturally you're put into the darkness, you're put into these places. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it was really intense with family that's completely atheist, people that don't agree with anything I'm saying, people that condemn me for thinking that there's more than the 3D world. So naturally I started to cultivate this path in my life that made no sense, this path where it was after my dad killed himself when I was 13, and hilarious, I'm saying it very casually because a lot of you guys have heard my story before. So my dad took his life when I was 13. When I was 15, I went to a party. I was naturally really rebellious. I was that crazy kid that literally was and get this, I was wild. So I was like, oh, good night, mom. And I was so skinny back then. I'd say, good night, mom. I would go to bed. I would climb out a window that was literally 30 centimeters tall, which is nothing, slide out the window, run to the front of the house, run up the street, call a taxi a few houses down, and then go to my boyfriend's house at the time. And I would do this, every single day for an entire summer. Then I'd come back in the morning because I used to work at muffin break, so I could wake up really early in the morning. And I would be like, morning, such a typical Gemini, lying about things left, right, and center. Don't worry, I don't lie now, but I definitely lied back then because that's what kept me safe. Anyway, at the age of 15, my mom and I got into this massive fight, and my mom actually said, get out, I don't ever want to see you again. And me being so stubborn, I was like, okay, bye. And I left and I went and I lived with my boyfriend and his family at the time. And my mom wouldn't pay for me to go to the private school that I grew up in. So I went from this school that was the best school in Brisbane to one of the worst schools in Brisbane because my mom wouldn't pay for it. So at the age of 15, I literally had no rules. I lived with my boyfriend and his family. So I was, completely and utterly independent. But here I was really getting deeper into this isolation wound, because on top of never fitting in, all of a sudden I was in a world where I didn't fit in even more because my family were quite well off, and living with my boyfriend and his family, they were very poor. So I felt really out of place. I had no friends at that school. It was really hard to come by, and my whole life just became these like series, like the movie series of unfortunate events. My whole life became this kind of thing where I would just keep making moves. And even in the last 2 years, like selling everything and moving to Bali with my ex-husband and 3 kids, my whole life I've had to make these moves and these decisions that I've never seen anybody ever do. No one's ever done the things that I've done, and I've just constantly had to forge that path, which has really made me feel alone at times and be like, oh my gosh, no one gets me, and getting stuck in this subconscious pattern and program. And I just want to remind you that if you're feeling alone, I see you. I really see you, because out of all the wounds you could feel, loneliness has been definitely one of the greatest wounds that I've felt and I've experienced in this lifetime. But we have to understand about loneliness is that loneliness and isolation is the shadow of connection. And we're here for connection. We're here for deep connection. And when I first moved to Bali, I was going to a different holiday destination every single week. I was exploring, I was playing, I was just like, fuck it, I don't care about anything. I'm going to be absolutely free. And I really relished in that. And I had this day where I'm in the middle of the ocean and tears just start streaming out of my eyes. And I was just like, oh my God. I was chasing the followers, the fame, the success, all these things. And I'm sitting in the middle of the ocean with more money that I know what to do with. People like, filling up my DMs, wanting to work with me. And I'm sitting there, tears coming out of my eyes. And I was like, I was chasing all of it, but all I ever truly wanted was peace and connection. And when you rip apart everything, you rip apart the money that you desire, the success, the accolades, the acknowledgement, the beautiful house, the beautiful car, all the things, when you rip all of that shit apart that you're not even going to be able to take to the grave with you, when you pull it all apart and you come back to the core of all that you are, you realize something really, really beautiful. And all we ever truly want in this lifetime is connection. That is it. That is the only thing that we truly, truly, truly desire. We desire connection. We manifested social media as a collective because we as a species desire connection more than anything else. And so when you're feeling alone and you're feeling, and I know loneliness so well, I used to lie. I would have honestly to God spent about 3 to 5 years in a bedroom crying. That's how long my dark night of the soul was when I was a child. Like I couldn't move. I was paralyzed from depression. I remember feeling numb. I was taking antidepressants that made me feel like nothing. Then when I went off the antidepressants, I was like using drugs and alcohol to cope because it was so intense and it was so much for me. And so I know what it's like to isolate yourself from the world and not want to be around people. And when you're feeling alone, I just want to invite you to, reach out, use this space, use the 888 wealth code, send me a DM. Like, even though I'm busy sometimes and my team manages them, please don't ever feel alone. Please don't ever feel alone, because honestly, I do feel like the most successful people do feel alone most of the time, because you're thinking thoughts that most people aren't thinking, and you're acting in a way that most people aren't acting. And that can be very lonely and that can be very isolating. And I know that because I've done it. My whole life has been going against the status quo, challenging the status quo, sharing things that are miles before my time that nobody actually understands yet or haven't been accepted by the collective yet. And I just want to remind you to keep going, to hold yourself, to love yourself, to just sit with yourself and be like, I've got you. I'm not alone. This is just an illusion. This will pass. And reaching out to people, communities are so important. Being around people is really, really, really important. And having people that get you and understand you is really important. And it actually starts with getting yourself and loving yourself. You cannot let anyone in if you don't love yourself and accept yourself first. And so if you are a leader and if you are successful and you do feel the call, that's what my Bali retreats are all about. They are all about really, truly leaning into connection and love and companionship and having a space of people that see you when maybe you don't see those parts of yourself yet. You are so beautiful. You are so powerful. And if you are ready to take success to the next level, it does start with a community. It absolutely starts with a community. It starts with people that see you on the deepest level. It starts with people loving you and holding you and allowing you to be seen in all of your mess, because your mess is your message. So I truly, truly, truly hope this helped. If you are a leader and you're ready to be seen in ways that you've never been seen before by your family, by your friends, by your loved ones, then I invite you to come to the Bali retreat in May. Definitely send me a DM, and honestly, it will change your life, because you deserve to be seen. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be really, truly cherished and held for the incredible soul that you are. Big love, wealthy old soul. Have the most magical, beautiful, phenomenal day. Check out the link below. Send me a DM. I love you. I see you. I've got you. I cannot wait to give you the biggest hug in the entire world and just say, hey, welcome to Bali. Today is your day, and everything's going your way, and miracles are coming more than you could ever possibly adore. Miracles are coming. So many goddamn miracles. So many. Big love, wealthy old soul. Have a beautiful, magical, phenomenal day. Mwah.